How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be using this Rogue Aggression deck to take on the Captain America scenario on Heroic difficulty. This is part of my channel goal of trying to beat every scenario in the game on Heroic using a different hero. So Rogue is a hero I haven't used in the challenge yet, partly because she's on the weaker side, but also partly because she doesn't really target any scenario in any particular way. A lot of her cards are just sort of generic value. But with the release of the Civil War expansion, we now have the Captain America scenario, which sort of interacts hilariously with Rogue. So part of Rogue's mechanics, you got the touched upgrade here, which we can attach to either a minion, the villain, or an ally in order to gain various different effects. The events Going Rogue and Southern Cross then change in their ability depending on what touched is attached to. So if we are aerial, which is when touched is attached to a ally, they do extra, threat removal or damage. If touched is attached to the villain, Rogue gains Retaliate 1. When we have Retaliate, these cards add a status application to the enemy. And then when we have this attached to another hero, Rogue gains Stalwart, and these each draw a card, which that won't be the case in this game because we're solo, but in a multiplayer game, that is quite powerful, actually. But these cards, the way they're written, they don't care whether or not we got the Retaliate from touched in order to activate that part of the card. So in the Captain America scenario, we will be bouncing Cap's shield back and forth between our hero and Captain America. And when our hero has the shield, we gain Retaliate 1. So now we can get Retaliate from the shield, and we can get Aerial from having touched attached to an ally. And now we get 2 of the bullets under Going Rogue or Southern Cross, which makes them obviously more powerful. So this is the combo we're going to try to exploit here today against Captain America, and it's the reason why I picked this matchup. I've picked Aggression for a couple little cards that I think are going to match up well against Captain America. One is actually Audacity. So this resource card, after we spend it in hero form, deal 1 damage to the villain. Every time that Captain America gets the shield attached to him, he gets a tough status card. So this is a really nice way to knock the tough off before Rogue then attacks and takes the shield back from Captain America. I also like Sunfire here. Captain America has the helmet, which gives him Stalwart and is pretty expensive to discard. So Sunfire would be really nice to help us discard that. A couple attachments in the Namor modular set as well. So several targets here for Sunfire to discard. And really that's mainly all there is to it. I try to even out the aspects as I'm going through this challenge. So I've got 1 aspect for each of the 4 Civil War scenarios planned. So this is Aggression's turn. I also sometimes like to use Aggression when the hero is relatively good at thwarting. So Rogue in a X-Men Utopia deck where she's getting readied a lot, she has a thwart stat of 2, so she can actually thwart a pretty decent amount just by herself. And Going Rogue is a pretty strong thwarting event, so hopefully we'll have the thwarting covered there, a decent amount of damage from the aggression elements of the deck, and we'll have both of those aspects of the game taken care of. So I maybe got a little bit ahead of myself there, but to talk through the deck here, so we are fundamentally a Utopia X-Men ally deck, 9 X-Men allies, using that card hopefully to ready Rogue as often as possible, to keep thwarting, or maybe to make sure that you can always spend an activation to attack to try to get Cap's shield back. Always just one of the strongest ways to play any X-Men character. We've also got the wrinkle of attack training game time, so several high attack allies that we can stick an attack training on, which is already just tremendous value by itself, but then game time becomes very efficient as well. Some resource generators here. So one of the reasons why Rogue is so incredibly weak is that she has no free value generation attached to her identity card. No, just like get a resource every turn or get a draw every turn, or really nothing. And so that really puts her steps behind other heroes in the game who do have some value that they can accumulate every single turn. So she doesn't have anything on her identity card, but she also doesn't have any good flexible resource generators in her identity-specific toolbox, which, again, most heroes in the game have some good resource generator to play. So we've got to play, as much as we can, and while they aren't always ideal, Rogue takes what she can get. So X Gene, Deft Focus, Weapon X, these are all 1-cost upgrades or supports that do honestly work pretty well with Rogue. X Gene generates wilds for identity-specific events, which she's got 10 of. Deft Focus reduces the cost of superpowers, which she's got 8 candidates there. And then Weapon X can just draw cards as an alter ego action. We've got the X-Jet as well, which is a little bit more expensive, but this one is actually a generic resource that can be used for anything. So Rogue just gets out to really slow starts. Hopefully we see some of these early to help build up that value generation. Last thing to mention here is we've got a couple of singleton aggression events. So Chase Them Down and Precision Strike. The reason I've included these is because of superpower adaptation. In multiplayer games, this card gets really crazy, but basically when touch is attached to a friendly character, in our case it'll just be an ally, we get to look at our discard pile and draw an event back to hand that matches the classification as that character, either identity specific, aspect, or basic. So we want to have some aggression events here so that we have the option to attach touch to an aggression ally and then tutor back a aggression event. So I've just got one of each because we want it to be just sort of a tool in the toolbox in our discard pile to grab if that's the way things align when we draw superpower adaptation. Game Time is also really nice in this regard because we can attach touch to a basic ally, and now we have an event to get back there. Or attaching to Gambit is always overall the best place to put it, because then superpower adaptation can get back any of our identity-specific events, which are just overall stronger. And then I'm playing one copy of Beauty and the Thief here, so we'll see. It's always hard to line up team-up cards in a solo game, but Gambit is really good. He'll be really good in this scenario, actually, with that interrupt to maybe ping a tough off of Captain America without taking Retaliate, and then attacking, some minion, hopefully. So we'll maybe see if we can keep Gambit alive a little bit so that we can use Beauty and the Thief whenever we draw it, but not the highest priority, but hey, one card slot to have a little fun, not much lost. So obviously we want to set up our cheap upgrades early. Utopia is really important early to get the value going, and then hopefully stick an ally with attack training relatively early as well to turn on all of the game times. And of course, over all of this, trying to set up Going Rogue and Southern Cross in instances where we have Cap's Shield and touch attached to an ally so that we get 2 of the 3 bonuses. So in Going Rogue's case would be 5 threat removed and confuse an enemy. For Southern Cross, 8 damage dealt and stun an enemy for really above rate cards to play. That's what we've got for the deck. Let's check out the Captain America scenario. Let's familiarize ourselves with the scenario here so we know what sort of things to play around. So Captain America, as I mentioned in the deck breakdown because of why I chose Rogue here, he's got the setup to attach the Cap Shield to him, and then a forced response after Cap Shield is attached to Captain America, give him a tough status card. The shield itself grants the attached character Retaliate 1, attacks against them lose piercing, and then a forced response after a hero or the Captain America leader uses their attack to attack and damage attached character, attach Cap's shield to the attacker. So basically, if Captain America attacks us and deals us damage, he gets the shield back. If our hero does essentially a basic attack, I don't think the way that's worded there's any other way for that to happen because we have to use their ATK to attack and damage. So in our case, that just means doing a basic attack to attack and damage Captain America. We then would attach the shield back to ourselves. And so because Captain America gets a tough status whenever he gets the shield, we kind of have to attack him twice in order to actually get it back. We need to knock off the tough somehow and then actually damage him to take back the shield. So that just adds an interesting element to the game. Like a lot of attacks have Retaliate one way or another. So actually us having Retaliate is like a good way to knock the tough off. Although I guess that timing doesn't really work out because once he gets the shield now he has Retaliate. But actually that's a way that Rogue lines up well against Captain America. If we have touch attached to Captain America, then we naturally have Retaliate 1, which means that we can poke the tough off of Captain America without an attack sometimes. And then if we get the shield, we might actually have Retaliate 2. If we look at the encounter cards here, we've got Cap's Helmet. I mentioned this one as well when talking about Sunfire. Gives Captain America Stalwart. but then we can discard it after doing a basic attack and spending 3 resources of the same type. It gets revealed off of boost abilities as well, so kind of a nasty one there. Super Soldier Serum +2 attack gives the next attack overkill. So that's something to, you can see it coming because it'll basically get dealt out. Then the next attack will have the overkill, but something we might want to stay healthy for. Shield Block gives Cap his shield back. If he already has it, he gets a tough status again. Shield Toss, this is kind of a nasty one. So if we're in Alter Ego, Captain America schemes again. But if we're in hero form and the shield is attached to him, deal 2 damage to each character you control. So that's just insane. Like, that probably wipes our entire board of allies and obviously hits us. So this is a card that really makes us want to keep the shield as much as we can. Like, if that card didn't exist, like, really, who cares if he's got the shield? We're setting up, we're dealing with threats, like, the retaliate doesn't matter too much. But if he's kept that shield, now Shield Toss just really, really stinks for us. Heroic Strike is in Alter Ego, discard an ally or upgrade. In hero form, Captain America attacks. If this damages a character, stun that character. So an extra attack activation there. If we just block with an ally, the stun part doesn't really matter. And then a relatively bad, actually, side scheme that Captain America starts with, especially compared to the other scenarios I've played so far. 3 threat, but then when defeated, Cap gets his shield back and activates right away. Like, that's it's funny how that's so much worse than like Spider-Woman's side scheme or Captain Marvel's side scheme. So I don't know what was going on there, but yeah, really stinks to have to defeat. Best to defeat when Cap's already got his shield, because otherwise he'll pull it from us. But if it's already attached to him, like, nothing extra bad happens. As I've been doing with the rest of the Civil War scenarios, I'm playing the rulebook recommended main schemes and modular sets. So in our case here, we've got Gathering Support, which will deal us a minion at the start of the game. We're going to go with Namor here. I think Namor is just by far the worst of the minion options that we have. And then on stage 2, the enemy leader gets +1 attack, +2 if undefended. So that's not really that bad unless maybe he has overkill, because we'll generally be blocking most attacks with an ally anyways. If we look at the resistance modular sets here, we've got a bunch of Avengers with Teamwork Avenger, so it's good to take out those guys quickly so that they're not around for a second villain phase when newly drawn Teamwork Avengers might activate against us from the Teamwork ability. The general theme among them as well is they have some bad boost ability, and when defeated, we deal these minions to ourselves as a face-down boost card, so we'll end up suffering that boost ability. Nice little synergy with design, and then some of the cards in the modular sets, re-trigger these boost abilities. The other 2 modular sets are the Atlanteans here. So the Atlanteans, pretty weak minions, to be honest. If you're looking to play this in co-op, I don't think I'd include this one, because they're just 3 health guard minions. And yeah, they discard a few cards from the deck, but that's not that big a deal. Maybe the guard matters a bit more in PvP if it's kind of a rush metagame. But really, these aren't too bad. And then Namor himself is pretty nasty, but the rest of the cards aren't bad. I guess there's an extra enemy activation here, a couple attachments that aren't too bad, and a side scheme as every modular set has. All right, so yeah, I think I've said all I really need to say here. Try to take the shield as much as we can to avoid the shield toss. Stay a little bit healthy for the Super Soldier Serum. If you've got ways to ping Tufts off Captain America, that goes a long way. We don't get the piercing value because of how Cap's shield makes attacks against the wielder lose piercing. So that's not so much a thing here, but like Audacity, like I mentioned, Gambit's Interrupt, like I mentioned, are pretty good at removing Tufts. So hopefully we get to take advantage of that. And there we go with the scenario. So let's dive into the game. All right, getting started, we've got Cap's shield attached. We've got our Fearless Determination side scheme in play. When the shield gets attached to Captain America, he gets a tough status. On the main scheme, the enemy team searches the encounter deck for a minion and deals it to us. So because this is referencing the enemy team, we resolve it with the Grim Rule. And I think it's not particularly close here that Namor is the worst minion to give us. Just by health, activation strength, and when revealed ability. I don't think anyone else really comes close. In my Tigra video, where the main scheme does a similar thing, I did a random pick among 3 different minions, which all could be an argument for the worst. But I don't think that is really so much a factor here. And those were like discard an ally you control, discard an upgrade you control. So you could kind of play around them if you knew what's coming. Namor, you don't really play around in any kind of way. I mean, we know he's going to attack us, but that's still, even though we can set up a defense for that, that's still worse than some random other minion that we could get. So Namor is dealt to us there. So in our opening hand, we're looking for some of those cheap resource generators to set up. An ally, of course, maybe even 2 allies, since Namor's attack does put us, Namor's attack and the attack from Fearless Determination put us under the gun right away. All right, let's draw the opening hand. Okay, there's a good cheap resource generator with X gene, so I think we definitely keep that. Definitely don't keep these. And maybe I keep triage just to make sure I have a blocker, even though the heal might not go to use yet. Yeah, I'll keep triage. Okay, mulligan 4. Like triage, it's one of those cases, triage isn't the ideal thing, but it's still probably right. And so we actually got a nice situation here. So I will say this is actually my 3rd game that I've played. The first 2 games I played, I got a loss, then a win, but I was playing Retaliate wrong, because in multiple instances I'll have Retaliate from the shield and Retaliate from touched. I guess let's do our setup thing here and get touched. And when you have Retaliate 1 twice, it's just like Retaliate 2. So I was dealing 1 damage to knock off Tufts on my first Retaliate, and then dealing 1 damage into the attacker's hit points. So it ended up being pretty significant in my win because I was using that to get the shield back faster. It helped me defeat Namor on turn 1. So, but basically we've set this up where when we defeat this, Captain America attacks, we can just spend the Bulletproof Bell that we already have in hand. Is a really good sequence to do. And let's look at the math here. I probably even keep the second one in hand. Because I'm going to pay 1 for X gene, flip, pay 2 for triage. Enter's ability doesn't do anything. But now we're going to thwart for 3 off of Fearless Determination. When defeated, attach Cap's shield to him. Oh no, what was I saying? Okay, I thought I might have been able to keep 1 in hand from the resource situation, but no, definitely not. So we thwart that down. We attach the shield, but it's already attached, so we don't do anything extra there. Then Captain America activates. Oh, sorry, I guess I needed to, before I did that, say that I put touched on Captain America. Now he activates. We play Bulletproof Bell. When an enemy with touched attached to it attacks, prevent all damage from the attack. So here is the natural attack coming in for 2. Ooh, under fire out of the way is sweet. So coming in for 5, but does no damage because of Bulletproof Bell. We retaliate 1 because we have touched attached to the villain, and then we get our own tough status from Bulletproof Bell. So basically as good a start as we can hope for there, and we'll end the turn. Bulletproof Bell, just crazy, crazy strong card. All right, some more setup options here. 1 threat on the main scheme. Captain America attacks. I think I just let this one hit the tough. I'll plan to take this one into the tough, take this one into my health, and then save Triage in case Captain America would attack again. I could also just have Triage block Namor in case we get the shield toss, because Triage kind of gets wrecked by that. But let's see. We'll take this first attack. Although, for what it's worth, I'd rather retaliate onto Namor. And let me think about this too, because if I play Gambit, then Gambit, Triage, and Rogue can attack to take out Namor. Which means I can't block with Triage either. Kind of awkward hand overall. I could also set up X-Jet plus Deft Focus, but then Namor would stay alive. But then I'd be super set up. Okay, okay, I'm gonna let this one hit my tough. 2 plus resolve the boost ability of each minion engaged with you, which doesn't happen. So hits off my tough, retaliate 1. 2 more encounter cards to follow up Namor. Namor comes in, and when revealed, he activates. So I'm just going to take this one onto Rogue for 1 plus a boost of 2, which is 3. We retaliate off the tough. Then we've got Secret Avengers. When defeated, we search the top 5 for a card to give as a boost. And then Cap's helmet is rather annoying, but we haven't seen Sunfire yet, so at some point Sunfire will be able to discard that, which will be really nice. But as it happens, we could do the Gambit play to take out Namor. I could do X-Jet, Deft Focus to get extremely set up. Oh, shoot. I did forget to mention, since I did those 2 games off camera, I did actually swap out Beauty and the Thief for White Queen. I think White Queen was just an oversight. She's really good in this scenario because we get stunned and confused. Cap's got tough statuses. We don't want to attack off the tough because they retaliate. So White Queen's actually really nice for this scenario. And Beauty and the Thief is the easiest cut because it's so situational. So, X-Jet, Deft Focus. Very, very appealing. But in the same way that that's setting up resources, leaving Namor in play is like getting negative resources. I'd like to flip down here either way for the hand size. Gambit is a really nice attack training target, which we've already seen one of. It's like if I don't take out Namor right now, I don't have great odds of taking him out later. I guess I attack him once. I guess I just need 2 damage later. I think I'm just going to take him out. It's not like setting up Gambit is not a worthwhile thing to do, and then I could maybe keep Deft Focus in hand. energy transfer takes out Namor pretty well in a future turn. All right, I'll pay 3 for Gambit. I think I like keeping the deft focus. Comes in with 3 charge counters. So then Rogue, Gambit, and Triage will all attack Namor using Gambit's interrupt. So he'll deal 3, Rogue deals 2, Triage deals 1 to take out Namor. Flip down for the hand size, even though the main scheme could pop on the first activation, definitely pops on an advance, but I really value the hand size to set up quickly here. And we'll end the turn. Okay, so start with 1 threat on the main scheme. Cap schemes for 3 plus a boost of 1. Nice. Gang up there with Cap on the art. So that is going to put 4 threat on the main scheme, which is okay for now. Although I didn't draw any more thwarting. A really good chance here actually to superpower training a bulletproof bell back to hand. I like the sound of that. But let's see what we get here. 2 encounter cards. Exhaustion. Surges into switching sides. Discard an ally you control. That'll discard Gambit. Really, really bad, obviously. Master Plan will put 4 threat on Secret Avengers. All right, that did not go well at all. And we're going to scoop this one up. Try again. Could easily be the case that Rogue is outmatched here, but the retaliate thing is just too funny not to try. We'll give it 1 or 2 more attempts here. With no, well, this scenario obviously has a ton of initial pressure. Not that that ever, like, what am I trying to say? So like, because Rogue has no value generation, which includes no initial value generation. So she starts really weak and is just like always weak, which is kind of my point, like, because she has no value generation. But a hero who gets out to a stronger start could definitely be a better matchup for Captain America here. But it's not like the start is the only disadvantage that Rogue has. She's weak throughout the whole thing. So we'll deal Namor again. Oh, I forgot to shuffle. Touched in. Well, even though we got the bulletproof bell, I thought that was a good start, turn 1. But then we didn't have a great hand turn 2, and one of our encounter cards, deleted our entire play from turn 2. So that is not a recipe for success. And then we had no thwarting to deal with the side scheme we had out. All right. Well, touched is actually preferred to see it in our very opening hand, because then we know we're not going to draw it. But some options here. So we could get out Gambit just to get ready to take out Namor pretty quickly. Psylocke is always interesting, just very efficient, good card, but doesn't go too far in the way of addressing the initial tempo we need. I like Gambit, and I think that's going to be the only keep. So we'll mulligan 5. Of course, I cut the Beauty and the Thief, but now we've got back-to-back games of playing Gambit. Don't think anything changes here. This looks like a good X-Gene Gambit turn. And now we'll find Touched. So the question is, do I still clear the Fearless Determination? Oh shoot, yeah, because if I do X-Gene Gambit, I've got no blocker ready. So what could we do here? We could just take a bunch of attacks and try not to die. I could not clear Fearless Determination, gives me a little more breathing room. I think that's probably the move. It stinks at the Amplify. Amplify is going to buff 2 attacks, but that's technically better than Captain America just attacking me when I clear this. So I think it's still X-Gene Gambit. Oh, what if we just stay in Alter Ego form? How does that look? We obviously go to stage 2 when Namor activates. But not dying is generally good. I don't like that if we do draw Bulletproof Bell, we won't be able to use it. So I probably still, I'm supposed to flip. Attach Touched to Captain America for the Retaliate. For 2 on Fearless Determination. But yeah, one last second to think if I want Gambit to thwart it. Cap will attack with the Amplify. So 2, 3, say we take a boost of 1, we're at 4. Cap attacks again for a boost of maybe, yeah, that's a lot of damage. I don't think I can clear it. Unless I'm just banking on drawing Bulletproof Bell. Okay, I'm not going to clear it. And this could be a quick one. All right, well, we got unbelievably lucky there with drawing the Bulletproof Bell. And the rest of the turn is not very good. I guess Gold Balls lets us take Namor out, but it's not a very efficient turn. Waste of a double resource. So 1 threat on the main scheme. Cap is going to attack. We'll X-Gene for Bulletproof Bell. No boost ability. So we take no damage from the attack. Get a tough. Retaliate 1. 2 encounter cards. Any more attacks? Boost of 1, 2, I guess. Knocks off the tough, hits off his tough. Ruler of Atlantis. Each Atlantis minion cannot take damage. Great, so we can't actually take out Namor. But At least Gambit and Rogue can clear that, and then Gold Balls can start attacking. And then Atlantean Guard, when revealed, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. 3 pretty bad cards to go over there, because Sunfire will be really critical to get rid of the helmet, but now we can't do that. All right, well, Rogue and Gambit thwart Ruler of Atlantis for 4. I think I keep the double in hand, so we'll pay 3 for Gold Balls. Attack Atlantean Guard. Probably better to just take it off the board. Attack Atlantean Guard for 3, discarding 2 cards. Oh, tough. Touched comes back, and we'll end the turn. Oops, I flipped down. Okay, great hand. Let's just see if we live to see it. 1 threat on the main scheme. Cap schemes for 3 plus a boost of 2 will pop it. Any more schemes for 2 plus a boost of 1 plus give an additional boost. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 threat on the main scheme. Two encounter cards, Heroic Strike, discard an ally or upgrade you control. Would have been really nice to discard Touched there, but we'll discard the X Gene. Falcon has Teamwork Avenger, but no other Avenger minions in play, so we are alive. And I do have some good stuff to do now. We can clear both minions. We haven't actually taken any damage yet, so we could clear Fearless Determination. I'm probably paying 1 for Deft Focus, paying 2 for Energy Transfer, paying 2 for Triage. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice turn, as long as I don't get advanced, which we're already down 1 of. We might be okay. Let's flip to hero form. Gambit will attack and ping Falcon. When defeated, he comes face down as a boost, which is going to confuse us. Going to pay 2 for Triage. Healing 2 from Gambit. Triage will thwart Fearless Determination for 1. So we're just going to take it. Cap attacks for 1, 2, 3, we're confused. 4, exhaust each upgrade you control. Oh, sorry. Obviously I put Touched on Captain America before that. Actually, no, sorry. I think I don't, because no, actually I do. Yeah, because Energy Transfer is going to move it to Namor. No, but I want my... No, sorry. I'm not going to attach it yet. Not going to attach it yet. So I take 4 from the attack. I'm confused, and exhaust each upgrade you control, which is none. So I pay 1 for Deft Focus. I thwart to remove my confusion. Pay 2, including Deft Focus for energy transfer. Attach touched to a character other than Rogue and deal 2 damage to that character. Heal 2 damage from Rogue and ready her. Now I happen to be Atlantis and Elite traits. Gold Balls will attack Namor for 4. I will discard 3 cards. I would have liked to play that second energy transfer. But maybe we'll draw that second Bulletproof Bell. So 4 more damage onto Namor, takes him out. And then we'll do Rogue's regular action to put touched onto Captain America. So now I can play around advance a little bit, which still might kill me. Or I can take the shield, which stops shield toss from effectively killing me. I've already seen 1 shield toss. Kind of feel like I should thwart. I'm gonna thwart for 2. And end the turn. All right, I think this is our turn the corner turn. If this doesn't go too badly, we're in really good shape. We're basically, we're strictly better than we were at the start, obviously. Oh, sweet hand. Sweet hand, but very on the damaging side, so hopefully we get some minions. 1 threat on the main scheme puts it up to 5. Captain America attacks, so now this main scheme 2 gives him permanent +1 while attacking, +2 if undefended. But Triage was always going to defend. So 3 plus a boost of 1. Triage is taken out. 2 encounter cards. Horn of Proteus gives +1 scheme. Yes. Atlantean Guard will mill us another 3. Nice, okay. So that is all not that bad. So the Horn of Proteus gives Captain America +1 scheme, and then whenever he schemes, give him a tough status card. But we can spend mental, physical to discard it. So I didn't draw any more in the way of thwarting. So I probably just have Gambit thwart along with Rogue. Or I just take the, it would be nice to just take the shield from Cap, as long as the main scheme is covered. Okay, I don't think I'm discarding this yet. It's kind of low impact to do that when I could give 2 of my really strong allies +2 hit points. So we'll spend Audacity for attack training on Gold Balls. Spend Audacity, so 1 damage to Cap. Spend Weapon X for attack training on Gambit. I could play Weapon X, but then I'd have to flip down, and then I almost certainly lose to the main scheme. So Gold Balls will attack the Atlantean Guard for 3. I'll mill over 2 cards. No Utopia this deck pass either is a bummer. So that takes out the Guard. Rogue thwarts for 2. Down to 3. I guess I'm basically thwarting this to 1. No, I guess I am thwarting this down, huh? But we're gonna get an extra encounter card too. Okay, sorry. Rogue's not gonna thwart it. Rogue's not gonna thwart it. Rogue's just going to attack for 2. Take a retaliate. Take the shield. Now Gambit's going to thwart for 2. Game time, heal and ready Gambit. And then he's going to thwart for 2 again. I guess I do potentially have an undefended attack coming in here. I can just regular defend with Rogue, of course. But if I flip down, it's going to go up to 2, 5 plus a boost, which alone won't end it. But does put me 1 more activation away. Because we got 1 shield toss in there and 1 advance. So either of those would end it. And we're getting an extra card. If he attacks, he'll take the shield back, which I don't love that. Okay, maybe the attack training on gold balls wasn't really that good. There's that Atlanteans card that could also add threat to the main scheme. If I do flip down, I would just not attack to get the shield. I would just thwart an additional 1. The 1 doesn't really matter. If I draw another advance, I still lose. Like, getting this shield didn't even really do me anything. Okay, I think I'm going to stay in hero form. And just hope I draw Bulletproof Bell. Or sorry, I attach Touch to Captain America. Go through the deck, get an encounter card. Well, could have been a corner turning turn, but I don't know, I guess it's not that bad. I just kind of a tread water turn if Gold Balls blocks right away. We'll need to get some decent encounter cards again. Yeah, I guess this is more of the corner turning turn because of the extra encounter card too. A lot of room for things to go wrong here. All right, come on, Bulletproof Bell. Pretty good hand overall though, because we got Forge to get Utopia and Game Time. One threat on the main scheme. Captain America attacks. I'm just going to have Gold Balls block. No boost ability. Oh, second shield toss gone. Very notable. 3 encounter cards. Spectrum has Teamwork Avenger, but doesn't happen yet. Under Fire is going to hurt Advance. Gets us to 3 plus 2 is 5. There's Atlantean's gone. That's another card that could add threat. Under fire number 2, Assault. I don't want Gambit to block this one, but I will just defend it. I will defend it. Defend for, it's basically defending for 3 because it makes the attack not undefended. So 3 coming in, defending for 2. 3 plus a boost of 2 is 5, defending for 2, I take 3. Retaliate 1, no, retaliate 2, then he gets the shield back. And then Goliath has Teamwork Avenger, so he'll attack for 2. And we'll retaliate 1. All right. When the shield goes back to Cap, he gets a tough. So the main scheme's on 7. And as long as we stay in hero form, there's no more advance risk. The Horn should have given Cap a tough. Oh, what's the order on that? So the Under Fire drew Advance, which should have given him a tough. Then we retaliated the 2. So I shouldn't have retaliated 2, because that would have just hit off the tough. Then we drew the Assault that actually attacked us, which means you get the shield, which means he gets a new tough back. So this is right. Okay, pretty trivial turn though. I could maybe play Southern Cross instead of Game Time. Or no, I could play Southern Cross instead of whatever I would get from Forge. But I mean, Utopia is, a path to victory here. So I'm going to pay 2 for Forge. Yep, go get Utopia. Man, this is why Heroic's so good though. Every single turn is a tense turn. If it was Expert, this much board presence would feel like we've won by now. Shadow of the Past is still in the encounter deck. It's probably the scariest thing that's left. I don't know. Pay 2 for Utopia. Gambit attacks Goliath. We'll do the trigger to hit Goliath for 1. Attack comes in for 3. He gets this as a boost card, which is going to give him a tough or 2 additional boost, but we're going to block it with a Forge anyways. Game Time. Heal and ready Gambit. We'll attack Spectrum. As an interrupt, we'll remove 1 charge counter to hit the tough off of Cap, which is not an attack, so no retaliate there. Then we'll deal 3 to Spectrum, give him a boost. The ability is to exhaust a character you control. Forge will thwart for 1 since you're on blocking duty imminently. We'll put touched on cap so that we can hopefully draw our bulletproof bell and end the turn. Bulletproof bell would be unbelievably huge right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, baby. Okay. 1 threat on the main scheme up to 7. So how do I actually want to do this? If we just look at the turn, okay, I think I just spend this. Okay. I put the 1 on here already, yes, because Forge thwarted it. Attack coming in for however much damage. We're going to bulletproof bell. So, I guess they get the tough. Okay, I shouldn't have used Gambit's thing to knock the tough off, but it's too late and I've seen my new hand, so. And then exhaust a character you control. I probably just exhaust Gambit. So those are already dealt. You'll get another one. Okay. So we prevent all that damage, get a tough. And then I guess we retaliate off the tough right away. Okay, 2 encounter cards. Secret Avengers, 4 threat side scheme, and then of course Shadow of the Past. So we'll shuffle this Misled into our deck. Mystique is tough and villainous. Yeah, Gambit using the tough is unbelievably bad. So Sunfire is probably the play to get an extra ready on Rogue. Misled is now extra ways to add 2 threat to the main scheme. So we've got to play around that. So yeah, as usual, when I shuffle an encounter card in, you kind of have to take my word for it that I'm looking away as I do it, but here it's 5th, so we will draw that imminently. So we gotta do some thwarting there. Touched comes back. Okay, as much as I wanted to do Jacket in game time, I think Sunfire is probably the play. It does let me use Utopia, which is a really nice part of that equation. And, oh, do I even have enough? So we know that we're going to put 4 on if I don't thwart that. I can thwart for 4, 5, 6. Wait, hold on. I can thwart this down to 3. Just with, no, sorry. Rogue thwarts this twice. If I don't thwart the main scheme at all, it's going to get 4 more threat. which puts it up to 11, which means I need to thwart it for 3 more. So if I put Rogue's Jacket on a friendly character, or sorry, if I touched a friendly character, Game Time, Gambit, thwart. No, I think I'm just straight up dead. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna call it there. So you've only seen 2 games. I'm 4 games in. I mean, Rogue is just insanely weak. I mean, I think I need to pull out someone stronger for this matchup. Unfortunately, didn't get to do the fun Cap's Shield thing. But yeah, no, extremely slow start, no good resource generators, no continuous value on the identity card. Feel very validated in my claim on Web Warriors tier list that Rogue is a D tier hero. And obviously you can say, well, you're playing heroic, why be that harsh? As I've hopefully shown on my channel, there's a lot of heroes that can win on heroic when you build around them, but Rogue just does not have those tools, and I don't need to be this negative. I mean, it's just a game, but that's just letting you know this is why I D-ranked Rogue so much. Okay, yeah, I will try again with a more challenge appropriate hero. Got to think about who that's going to be. I don't want to commit to anything right now, but hope you'll join me for that whenever we get back around to it. We'll probably move on to Iron Man next, the last scenario in the box for me to do my first attempt again. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.